Cayman National Bank has been proudly serving the Cayman community for over 40 years. With over 7 customer service centres and ATMs located throughout Grand Cayman, Cayman Brac, and Little Cayman, Cayman National makes banking easy. Whether you're out dining, shopping, or playing, we invite you to visit our customer service centre, conveniently situated at Camana Bay, which offers full-service banking along with ample parking. I invite you to visit us at Camana Bay, where banking blossoms.
The Cayman Islands Civil Service Association members are asked to note that the final day of school bag supplies and distribution is Friday, August 31st from 3:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. If you did not get a bag and have been inquiring about how to get one, this is your last opportunity to do so. Please remember to bring a copy of your pay slip showing your $5 deduction. That's CICSA members' last day to pick up backpacks. This Friday from 3:30 p.m. till 6 p.m. at the CICSA office, 2nd floor, Hospital Road Plaza.
Oh, I think they're doing a great job. A lot of them are.
Good afternoon, Dwayne. How are you?
Not too bad, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today with Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. If you're ready to talk, we're willing to listen.
Well, I really enjoy this program today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
May God bless every person.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome. It is a fantastic Friday, and when you can look into your society and see wonderful entrepreneurs and community-minded philanthropists like Mr. Dilbert, it's an honor to be able to join her again. So we ask you, come on back. We have some more discussion. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today, the Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program. We ask our listeners to avoid statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use any indecent language or make any statement which is false or misleading. Email talktoday@candw.ky or call 1-800-534-8255. Courtesy of Flow,
Cayman's #1 network that connects you to your world like never before.
Let your voice be heard. Once again, here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome, and thank you for joining us. As you know, I'm really, really honored. Not just to call her a good friend, but to admire the industriousness, the strong work ethic, but also not just the business acumen, I drive, the zeal, but the ability. Mr. Dilbert, always a pleasure, Mom. Always a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
You know, and the thing is, as we talk about not just what your company and the industry, in a sense, on your leadership coming together to continue to help our society, but to see someone with not just a passion, a dream, but with that resolve, pursue it, not with just great financial success, but success where it inspires others. And every time I see you, I tell you, man, it's encouraging, always encouraging.
You make me feel good every time I walk in
Is
here.
that a song? You make me feel.
I love it.
People are like, boy, you should talk, don't sing. But as we draw close, a month away thereabouts for the annual Cut-A-Thon. Almost 20 years now.
Almost 20 years. This is our 18th year.
Yeah. I was only 2.
Well, if you were 2, I was 1.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was going to say 3, but I didn't want to lie too much.
Yeah, we got started really early.
There you go, man. But the idea, though, people who come out, not just the participants and the contributors but the spectators, that cheerleading section of our community.
Returning clients, returning supporters, returning, people volunteering to actually cut their hair off to be donated and to also be sponsored participants. It amazes me, the support that we get every year. And, in the last few years, I've noticed that even the kids are coming out more. Yeah. The young kids who've lost a family member or a friend or, someone that has been affected by, breast cancer.
It strikes us close to home. In so many ways, directly in relation to the efforts of the Lions Club of Tropical Gardens in particular, with their breast cancer initiatives and awareness. But that education causes so many of us to appreciate that it is something that if we as people come together. And I commend you and your team at Eclipse in particular for giving up not just the space, the time, the day off, and your colleagues in the industry generally for coming out.
Yes, and this year we're trying to be as strong as we have ever been, and we have our volunteers from the other salons coming and join us. We have Privy Beauty Studio, we have Focus Again, Spa Spree, and we also have returning TG stylists. They've been coming on the island for the last 2 or 3 years now, helping us out to help raise some money towards the cause. And, such a great support, from all of these different salons and distributors. So I'm really happy about that. Obviously, I have my full team on board too. So we're looking forward to a really good day.
And there's an area, I know people who have been there will say, well, you playing it down somewhat, but it's not just surreal, it's a celebration. You're not looking at it because of what could be a somber occasion. People are looking at it, expectation almost. Right.
And maybe I am playing it down a little bit. It is really exciting.
It is.
It is a really exciting 4 hours. We open the doors at 2, and there are already people lined up outside, waiting to get in to sign up, because it's first come, first served, right? So roughly from 2 o'clock straight until 6 o'clock that evening, we're slammed. Because we've got not only the haircuts, but we've got the massages, we've got the mini manicures, we've got the eyebrow threading, all at really good discounted prices. And every dime that we take in from the sponsored volunteers till that day is donated to the Lions Club of Tropical Gardens for Breast Cancer Awareness Fund. And it's a feeling that you can't really describe until you've actually become a part of it. So I invite everybody out there that has not been to one of our Cut-A-Thons before to come out this year and joined us.
A friend of mine said to me, he was there, and of course, being part of sort of the organizing and what have you, there was a line, as you shared, long before 2. And so some people were walking by and they saw this line. And it's Sunday. Businesses, at that time, this was a few years back. And businesses were closed in that immediate area. The buildings were still under construction. So it was really much happening.
Right.
So the people were looking and wanted to know.
What's going on in there?
Yeah. So he whispered, something about some particular celebrity was nearby, and they were waiting out because he was going to make an appearance.
I love it.
I said, man, you didn't do that. He said, well,
I love it.
They were sticking around, and one person, I'm not quite sure how I'm dressed. I said, no, don't worry. We just don't take a fix you up too.
Well, indirectly,
yes.
Like I say, we do have some celebrities in our profession joining us.
Yep.
So when we talk about Robbie Powers and Douglas, these are well-known educators for TG Soho in New York Academy. And, they have educated and done training with our profession for many, many years, and they're fantastic. They're so humble, and they come and they spend their time with us, and that you are going to be hanging out with some celebrities.
Well, you're going to be in your company as well, your team. So
thank you. Thank you.
Now, it's in September. I know this is the end of August, so tell us when.
Okay. So the Cut-A-Thon itself is actually on the 30th of September, which is a Sunday. It's going to be from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. This year we've got going on still the women's wet cuts, men's wet cuts, children's wet cuts. We've got the mini manicure, the eyebrow threading, the famous $1 a minute massages. And last year and this year, we decided to add on reflexology, which is $2 a minute. But and we also this year we also got Prexy Paradise to come and do some face painting again. So she'll be on board 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock for the kids that do want to come out and have some face painting. And I think that's going to be like $7. But like I said, all the money goes directly to the cause. So feel free to come and join us. Please, you don't want to miss her if you're a kid, I'm sure. But even the adults have gotten their face painted too. So yeah, no, and all of these prices are slashed probably half or less than what you would normally pay. And this year, we also have a raffle that we've put together. We had one last year, but this one is slightly changed up with people who have decided to, come in and join us and do donations. We've got some really, really good people on board, and a minimum of $10 to be donated into it, and get the opportunity to win a prize of $100 type of thing. So you can't beat that. I am really excited too of all the new people that have come aboard now too, and also supported it this year. We have, banks, we have law firms, we have, photographers, we have several different small businesses that I want to mention. I wish I could mention everyone name by name. We've got, Cayman 27, we've got Fast Signs, Chandra, who's decided to shave her head. Chandra's coaching, and she's been really, really a good driving force behind it there for us. And, is talking about it from the eyes of people that she's known that has gone through, breast cancer, and how difficult that whole thing can be. So I'm really excited once again. I am just about wrapping it up, because this was the first year in several years that I've taken it on 100% on my own again.
Wow.
So I took the month of August pretty much and said I was going to be off work.
Yeah, I've seen you be off work.
Well, I wasn't off work at all. So for those of you clients out there, who feels that I told you I was going to be off work, I have been going nonstop, but really loving it and being able to get my hands back in there and to be like the full driving force behind it.
Yeah, man. It's a wonderful initiative. Certainly supports a worthy cause. And I say this with the greatest respect to all of the charities. This is an opportunity, because the partnership alone with the Lions Club, but the extended community from the corporate to the individual, for the people who are stepping up to volunteer and say, hey, you know what, I'm going to do this because I want to show support. I want to remember someone. I want to be able to contribute. And then the impact that perhaps the funding, allowing people to get women specifically to get a mammogram.
Right. Well, that's
but the awareness, and it's a lot of work.
Awareness alone, but also, like you said, given those people that don't necessarily have the means to go and, do their checks and so forth, to be able to get an opportunity
I think
through
too,
them.
Some of, just over the years, I guess, sometimes you build up, sort of an opportunity to hear from people. Irrespective of that cost of the mammogram, for some people, it's not only that they can't afford it, but if they were to, in their minds, take the X dollars that they would have, and put on it, as worth as it is, as necessary, as much as they've been encouraged to do it, they may say, well, the child needs this, this particular expense needs to be paid. They forego it because they don't believe, there's nothing wrong. And, having someone say to you, hey, take care of yourself, that means you
gotta put yourself out there and make sure that you put yourself first, especially when it comes to health. I myself just had my mammogram done this month. I made sure that I was in there getting mine done also, because I like to make sure, everything is good. Everything is good, and I'm thankful everything is good.
Thank God.
Thank you, God.
Amen. That's good.
Yeah.
And this is important. Now, as we come back from a break, maybe take a few more minutes. Do you have time to share with us?
Yes.
Give us a little bit more insight. 12:45, John Moore is going to step into our studio, tell us about some charity. 1 p.m., Honorable Opposition Leader will be our guest. As you know, the Legislative Assembly is heading up to the BRAC for a meeting or two and talking about some things. So, hey, that's my show. Where are you going to be? Hopefully right here. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Nursing, education, social work, media studies, hospitality, electrical, plumbing, AC. Wow, I didn't even know that the University College of the Cayman Islands offered all that.
Yes, all that and more, as well as event management and QuickBooks. They also did customized training for our staff last month. Hey, didn't your son just graduate from high school? Take him so he can apply for the fall semester.
Pursue your academic and professional goals at UCCI. Admissions are ongoing. Classes start August 27th. Visit them or call 623-8224 to learn more.
Not all insurance is created equal, but who has the time to shop around? Take the guesswork out of your insurance coverage with Fidelity Insurance Brokers. Let us match you with the best coverage to suit your needs at a price to suit your wallet. Plus, get superior customer service from dedicated claims professionals to ensure speedy claims processing. Get your insurance through Fidelity Insurance Brokers. Call us today at 949-7822 for a free quote. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Did you hear that Vant Motors has your sale going on now? And you get your choice on the money you'll save on your new car or truck?
My sale? My choice? Really?
Yeah! And they have lots of cars on sale. Some up to $7,000 off.
Sounds pretty good.
It gets even better. You can choose to take the full discount or you can get some or all of it as cash back.
Extra cash back would be great.
Exactly! And you can even use the savings to extend your warranty or service plan so you'll drive worry-free for years longer.
Another good idea.
If you want to upgrade with something like a new roof rack or backup camera, you can choose that too.
Wow, I get to choose?
Yeah, that's why it's your sale, your choice. Going on now at Vant Motors on Walkers Road, while stocks last. Come on, let's go.
Radio Cayman's Breeze Fusion Walk Run is coming Saturday, November 3rd in Grand Cayman and November 24th in Cayman Brac. Visit CaymanActive.com to register today or stop by Radio Cayman on Elgin Avenue. This year's funds go to benefit the NCVO, the John Gray High School Music Department, and the So-and-So Club of Cayman Brac.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waging to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back and thank you so much. And this is what success looks like. Someone who is not just there to encourage and to motivate, but also continually contribute. Yes. I started there, but always a pleasure. Now, not just the proprietor, but creative artistic director. What would be the best title? Because I always think, how do I
Well, the best title for me is Master Artistic Director.
Master Artistic.
I don't like to really even own the word owner.
Okay. Yeah. No, I know that. And that's part of who you are because you... Before it became almost a cliche, empowering, you were epitomizing that. All those around you, whether your staff or colleagues, or whether those
we work together for the betterment of the community, right? And we make everybody beautiful and feeling beautiful.
Oh yeah, you walk with that, that stride in your step. I think this is why this Cut-A-Thon sort of, embodies your spirit. You're given to the community,
and there's no better feeling than that when you can give back to a community that has helped you gain success per se. And the good thing is I love this profession, because if it was for the money, I would have been gone a long time ago. But I do love this profession and I love the fact that we can make people feel so much better. And just through this Cut-A-Thon, and that's how it was all, we developed the Cut-A-Thon, obviously, to help the community because we'd had so many people and organizations and charities coming forward asking for help, and that still happens up until today. And we thought, let's pick one that would be really close to our heart. And when I say we, it was myself and my sister Darna at the time, who was my partner at the time. And we had just lost an aunt, Emily Jane, to breast cancer. And she'd suffered this whole thing by herself. No one knew she had breast cancer. And that touched the core. Yeah. Really touched the core. So the Lions Club of Tropical Gardens, was well into, organization then at that time. And we thought, let's support them with their breast cancer.
And I appreciate you sharing that because every time, you recall the story, I think back that there was not long ago when this discussion didn't take place in the public domain.
Not at all, yeah.
And even here in our community, the word was whispered, it was looked at in a certain way. And unfortunately, men still don't understand that they're affected by it directly, not because of those that they love have.
But they can also
we.
Right.
And that is the
breast
thing.
Cancer.
Yeah, the thing that we need to be looking at so that part of that education, as you shared earlier, the fact that our young or students or children are getting on board with more and more community issues relative to health.
Showing you that awareness is, getting out there. And they're also being touched in one way or the other.
And they become conscious of their health. They start to take, early detection,
Right.
And it makes it for a healthier, safer, more productive, and people would appreciate this,
And when you bring the community together and things like this, it is always better because they spread the word, right?
Spread the love as well, man.
They spread the word and the love, yes.
All right. So
and
we
clap the scissors. The people that do come forward that also not necessarily come forward as sponsored participants raising money outside to shave their head or cut their hair. On the day, we also have quite a handful of people that come and cut at least 10 inches off and say, please, send this for donation.
Yeah.
So we're excited about that too all the time.
And over the years, especially a number of the young people who had this hair for so long and to maybe commemorate the occasion, to be a willing participant, step forward. And I can think of a couple of young girls in particular who have cut their hair. I'm thinking, wow, you had 50 feet of hair and now you got 5 inches left.
Yeah, but you know what? They're so proud, rightfully so. When I say proud, not in a bad way, rightfully so, to be such a driving part of this initiative, this event, whichever word you want to call it. Yeah. And it really touches my heart and keeps me going and keeps me thinking, oh yeah, I look forward to next year. Yeah. I really look forward to next year and doing it.
All right. Now, we have a call off air, right, asking about color treated hair. I mean, as you can see,
well, the good news is we can take your hair and donate it now to children with hair loss.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool. All right, so that's hope for us then, Mr. Lynn.
You know what? I am going to say, let's let's grow your hair. Let's do it.
Hey, it is growing. It's just growing away.
You know what? I plan to. I'm hoping that I'll be as brave as many other people that have come forward to shave their head over the years. I'm hoping that I'll be able to do mine on the 20th year.
I'll do it for you. How about that?
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, yeah. We can bring the family together. They can hold my hand. And together.
Hold your hand or hold my hand. I'm the one that
We'll probably have to tell you that.
Really excited. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to carry through with that.
On the 20th year, she'll be 25. We'll do it then, right?
All right.
How about that?
Sounds good. 21, by the way.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yes. Man. No, I yeah, I'm gearing up for this. I'm gearing up for
I can see the anxiousness, but also the excitement in your eyes, and you thought, like, can I really do that? Because that takes a lot. People don't understand, what it means.
No, I totally understand as a trained trichologist and dealing with hair loss and all of those, different things that lead up to that. I can just only imagine how much courage and inspiration and dedication and all the different words that have to be put in there to make that person be able to do that.
And the thing is, hopefully, forgive me, I don't do it often, but I remember when my daughter cut hers, in the reason, and it was just quiet, it was just amongst us, no fanfare, those who knew, and unfortunately, it was spoiled by some loud, obnoxious person who. It's just how it is, because these things. They take on a sense of being personal.
Right.
You go through where there's a family member suffering an illness, there's treatment, there's hair loss, there's all the other things that happen with the treatment, right?
Right. Yeah.
And so you draw alongside in a way to maybe show respect, try to bond, do something. And that's why I think with this Cut-A-Thon, it gives us a chance to say, together, we're making a collective impact.
Right.
And we all, for the most part, go and get our hair done or done up.
The good news is hair grows back.
Well, some.
Well, I can actually help you a little bit there too.
I appreciate it.
No. But at the same time, you rock it.
Yeah.
you rock it, so that's fine.
That's what my daughter says.
Yeah, you
so
rock
Dad,
it.
you stay home. Oh, sorry, you said.
I love it.
Oh, man. But you have to own it, right? And
you really have to own it.
And I think and I see some days, some years when I see people come out of the salon, there's a glow because they know what they just did and why they did it. Mm-hmm. And yet it's part of a charitable initiative. But yet the hair looks good. They've now been styled. And they walk with, for that few hours, they're walking.
They feel so good.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I can't explain the feeling that I have at about 7 o'clock that evening.
Mm-hmm.
It's like in the air.
Yeah.
You're walking in the air.
Yeah, it is one.
Because at that stage, we've kind of counted out. We have a little idea because we don't cut it off then at that stage because we have still the whole month, that we continue to raise money. But we have a little idea how much we've raised. And it's just a good feeling to know, wow, that's going to take care of several people.
Exactly. And then the wider community has come out and they've celebrated. They understand the positive impact that, these 4 hours specifically. Right. But then there are ways that they can continue to contribute, and every little bit it makes a
every dime adds up. No matter what you have that you can actually put towards this cause, please come and give it to us, and we'll appreciate it no matter what it is. And I'm telling you, there will be many other people out there appreciating it also.
So true.
So don't feel shy in any way, or that it's not enough or whatever it is. Every dime adds up.
And the Lions Club Tropical Gardens, I always had, and I think I always will have for Lions, but Lions Club Tropical Gardens in particular, a very special place because I see what they're doing, and as more men become part of that club, we'll see the women driving it. Women have been the movers and shakers in our society from
the force behind it.
And to watch this.
Yeah, and you saying that about men, that really, really touches my heart too, to see the men that have gotten involved with the Lions Club of Tropical Gardens over the years. I'm like, yes.
That's it, man. I respect that. So the 30th of September?
30th of September, 2 to 6 p.m. The last hour, I will tell you, is electrifying, even more electrifying, because that's the hour that pretty much on the whole hair side is when we're going to be doing the shaving and the cutting of the sponsored volunteers. So you want to come out there between 2 and 4 really if you want to have your hair done. Now the other services will continue to go on until 6 o'clock, and we ask that you come out with it washed and wet for sanitational reasons, and just come and join us.
Have fun, man.
Join us.
So those who want to sponsor can still come on board?
Please, if you are, you feel that you want to become a sponsored volunteer and, help us raise some money towards having your hair cut. We need at least 10 inches or shaved. Please give us a call at 945-1188 or email us at eclipse@eclipse.ky. That's with a Z in both eclipses. And we definitely, the more, the merrier. We just want to raise big money and hand that check over.
All right. Well, looking forward to be able to chat with you again closer to the date. But
I'm excited. I'll call some names and all that good stuff.
Yeah. Ooh, we could be name
some
calling.
Volunteers, yes.
We're going to get in trouble for that. So you want to hear Darla get name calling? I just tease you. That's the fun that we have, Maya.
Yes.
And but you not only to have a wonderful weekend, but continue your efforts. And as you encourage us, you empower us, man.
Thank you.
All right.
You do the same for me.
Here we go. Let's pause and take a break. When we come back, give us a couple minutes so we can speak with Jamo about some charity. And then 1 p.m., the Honorable Opposition Leader will be our guest. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
At Seaboard Marine, customers often ask us questions about their shipments.
Hi, I'm thinking of buying a car from the States. Which port do you ship out of?
Hi, we ship out of Miami, Houston, and Brooklyn. Just let us know your port of choice and we can provide you with a quotation and answer any questions you may have on insuring and protecting your vehicle during its journey.
Shipping shore to shore, Seaboard.
Entrepreneurs are risk takers and innovators. They see opportunity where others see roadblocks and defeat. They introduce new products and services that disrupt conventional thinking and trends. Are you one of these innovators in our community? It's time to receive the recognition that you deserve. Apply today for the Chamber's Entrepreneur of the Year Award at businessexcellenceawards.ky. This award is proudly supported by Yellow Media Group.
Congratulations, it's a boy.
During the greatest events of your life, whether or not you have the right health insurance coverage should be the last thing on your mind. That's why at Fidelity Health, we are committed to helping you get matched with the right plan to suit you and your family. We offer a range of plans to suit your budget, plus access to a network of quality care throughout the Caribbean and the USA. You can relax and enjoy life's greatest moments when you are covered with Fidelity Health. Call us today at 949-7822 for a free quote.
Pet owners are responsible for the protection of their pets during disaster events. If you plan to evacuate, plan for your pet as well, because they are not allowed in public emergency shelters. If you go to friends or relatives, and if it's okay to take your pets, also take your pet survival kit as well. Your kit should include proper ID, collar and tag, carrier or cage, leash, at least 2 weeks supply of moist pet food to preserve water or food bowls, any necessary medications, and plenty of newspaper for sanitary purposes and disinfectant. After the disaster, be careful in allowing your pets outside. Downed power lines, damaged buildings, and other animals and insects brought with the disaster could also present real dangers to your pet. Also, take care not to allow your pet to consume food or water which may have become contaminated.
Message brought to you by the Barbados Government Information Service and Breeze 105.3.
The Lions Club of Tropical Gardens, in association with the Cayman Islands Cancer Society, presents Steve Higgins and Friends in Embracing Romance. An elegant evening with Dahlia Winter, April Marr, Amaya Lewis, and Steve Higgins. Sunday, September 2nd at the Marriott Beach Resort, 7 Mile Beach at 6 p.m. sharp. Come, hear impeccable performances of timeless love songs, punctuated by riveting, stunning creative dance in a classy, romantic evening. Tickets at Funky Tangs or Super Stitch and Virtue, or call 916-5008. That's Embracing Romance, Sunday, September 2nd at 6 p.m. at the Marriott Beach Resort with Steve Higgins and Friends. Proceeds will go to the Cayman Islands Cancer Society and the Lions Club of Tropical Gardens. Sponsored by Harney's, NCB Capital Markets, S&P, Auger, and Radio Cayman.
The Cayman Islands Civil Service Association members are asked to note that the final day of school bag supplies and distribution is Friday, August 31st from 3:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. If you did not get a bag and have been inquiring about how to get one, this is your last opportunity to do so. Please remember to bring a copy of your pay slip showing your $5 deduction. That's CICSA members' last day to pick up backpacks. This Friday from 3:30 p.m. till 6 p.m. at the CICSA office, 2nd floor, Hospital Road Plaza. Are you ready to pace yourself? Sunday, September the 23rd on West Bay Road at the Public Beach. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman's 7th Annual Delano Hislop Memorial Journey for Life 15-mile walk run. Register today and do your part to help raise awareness for prostate and colon cancer, and also raise funds to help support victims and survivors in the Cayman Islands. Registration fee is only $25. For more information, visit www.lionsgcmpacce.com or call 917-7223. The Delano Hislop Memorial Journey for Life 15-mile walk run. Sunday, September the 23rd on West Bay Road at the Public Beach.
89.9 Radio Cayman helps you to weather the storm during this hurricane season.
One of the most crucial elements of hurricane preparedness is storm awareness. During the season, it is of utmost importance to pay attention to the latest local weather forecast, as hurricanes do not suddenly form or strike. There are various methods of advanced notification. Utilizing such may be the difference between a favorable outcome and disaster. Both television and radio serve as excellent mediums with up-to-the-minute storm path information in the wake of a hurricane. Another method of tracking a hurricane may be only arm's length away. Your smartphone or tablet can be your most valuable tool before, during, and after a storm, providing countless numbers of apps with crucial hurricane information. Many apps allow you to track storms with moving radar and satellite imagery, plus offer alerts, current conditions, forecasts, advisories, and even video.
This hurricane preparedness tip was brought to you by your community radio station, Radio Cayman 89.9.
But I do have some questions.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program. Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today, and thank you for joining us as we have an opportunity now to share with you about wonderful charitable initiatives. With a quick reminder, 1 o'clock after the news, Honorable Ezra Miller will be our guest. So, Jamo, thank you. I recognize your busy schedule, but for giving us a few minutes to be able to remind the public that we got some good charities and things are happening. So, good afternoon to you, man.
And you got 2 new ones now. I come to talk about the 2 new ones. And I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to come on and talk to this while I'm on vacation, because they are non-for-profit, so I want to make sure that the non-for-profits don't mix with the government part of me. Mm-hmm. And so thank you for accommodating me during this time.
Always a pleasure, man. Always a pleasure.
The first one I want to talk about is Cayman Motocross Association. It is an association that was spawned out of a need to address some of the issues that were going on in our society, especially with dirt bikes on the road. So with me, I brought John Michael Rankin. He's the new treasurer of the association.
Yes, good day. Thanks for having me on as well. It's always a pleasure. Yeah.
Well, JJ, as most people know him, is also the owner and managing director of X Crew Entertainment, an event management company that is hinged around anything exciting and
any entertainment. We're responsible for organizing, and especially what we're famously known for was the Stunt Fest series. Mm-hmm. That started in 2016, and we had the last one 2017 with the help of the Cayman Islands Motocross Association, that I'm proud to say that I'm now involved in, and actually the treasurer, like what Jamo said. So we just trying our best to continue to move forward with programs, for the bikers to have activities to be done. So
and to be done so legally.
Exactly.
So that is one of the reasons why that organization was founded, and so the association can now find ways of engaging young people, because young people have the right to recreate. That's a right that a child has. As you get older, you kind of remove yourself from that right. So adults don't have the right to recreate, but for the child in them, they still want to recreate. Yeah. But we have to make sure that we have a harmonious society, and we can recreate in ways that is not on the other side of the law. So that is what the major aim of the Cayman Motocross Association is, to do just that, and to have the issue of illegal bikes and illegal vehicles on the road, off-road. We're working on developing a purpose-built motor park in East End under the auspices of the Cayman Hot Rod Association, and that is progressing well. And as we get more updates on it, we'll keep everybody abreast. Mm-hmm. But right now we plan the Stunt Fest Part 3, so that'll be something exciting for the end of November.
Stunt Fest Part 3.
Part 3. It's going to be
Part 2. Part 3. So 3, huh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. It's going to be extreme.
Definitely. It's going to be a next level. And what the Stunt Fest always brought to the community, just the energy and the vibrancy of like a family affair. So it's not just about taking them off the street, just into a venue, but also just bringing that energy of families and friends just coming to just enjoy an awesome day. So, like what Jamo said, we're just doing our best so that the sport can be actually, turned into something professionalized, something that is good, for Cayman on a whole.
We did a bit of research on bike life, and bike life is a subculture that is broad, is an urban subculture, and it doesn't have a very positive connotation elsewhere, but that does not have to be the case here in the Cayman Islands. We're a firm believers that at the CMA that bike life in Cayman could mean something really great, something that should change the culture of #bike life, because we've seen from the past Stunt Fest, people want to do Stunt Fest now and do it the right way. Yeah. So if we can influence the culture in that way, I think we put Cayman on as a lead in terms of this new adrenaline sport.
And for some of the listeners who may be involved in the bike life community too, another main purpose of this event is also to get members signed up under the Motocross Association. So that will be an occasion where we'll have forms provided, and we'll also have like a practice run, maybe weeks before the event, like a week before, where people can come and test out the area and also sign up to be members, so that people involved in the bike life community can have more say, have more input. So this is the means of which we're moving forward.
As you shared, not just make it safe, make it legal, but provide an outlet that potentially could lead to other careers, not just promoting the industry here, promoting another league to our tourism product and sports tourism or what have you, but putting people overseas, maybe they become, the stunt coordinators in action films. I don't know. It's so much
plus
possible.
Motocross is huge. Motocross is huge. It's a televised sport that has some serious following.
Lots of dollars involved.
There's a lot of professional riders that are making a good. They can take care of their families and take care of their families' futures, and I think that is what is important about the opportunity that presents itself here. You're not only about surviving, is about thriving, where a professional motocross rider can not only take care of himself and his family, but can set aside maybe a small fortune for his grandchildren.
Yeah.
And when we start to see those kind of opportunities presented to young Caymanians, it makes sense that they do it early. So I'm a firm believer that when preparation meets opportunities, is the recipe for success.
Yeah.
So let's get young people prepared for the opportunities to present themselves.
Indeed.
And you can't do it if you're on the other side of the law. So we're reaching out, and we always partnering with the police to make sure that we're doing things according to the
and it builds stronger community relations, so that we understand what is that. Now I recognize the time, and like you said, this is why I commend John Boy. He always like to separate as much as possible one hat of men that he wears.
Well, all of them kind of mars each other, because when you have the motocross stunt event, we can have food there because it'll be a family affair.
Yeah.
So the culinary program will most likely be there.
And congrats to the recent trip was a success.
Thank you very much.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
And I want to thank all the sponsors for making that happen, and for those who coming on board for the 2019 National Youth Cook-Off, where we can showcase more talents from the young people in the Cayman Islands and get them into the food and hospitality industry. It is an industry that we can really showcase Caymankind, and the branding that we're promoting through the Department of Tourism and the Ministry of Tourism has to follow through to where the very youngest in our society can be beneficiaries. And that is where we aim to do with the National Youth Culinary Program. We have created a farm system for young people at high school age to go off to tertiary and to take advantage of all the opportunities there in that industry. And we're really good at it. We've proven ourselves. We came second 2 years in a row now. But I think the young people don't want to stop until they have brought back this regional crown and they can try to conquer other competitions.
And we have a young team, not just in terms of the years together, but their ages as well.
Yeah, they got several years that they can compete.
Yeah, so that's the thing.
Yeah. But the aim is to try to expose as many young Caymanians to these opportunities where they can grow their confidence, because confidence is one of the areas that most young people struggle with. And once they have conquered that demon within, they can really start to pour out all of what God has put in them on the planet.
I say this, and if it offends people, well, maybe they need to look at it closely. Too many of us as adults, teachers, parents, just coaches, adults, whether directly, deliberately, or malicious, or sometimes just inadvertently, we say and do things that erode that confidence, that discourage that young person. Sometimes not even realizing that that's what we're doing or what we did. But what you guys do, JJ, it's commendable to watch you guys move forward and bring the young people along and cause them. John, I want to bring you all back in again as your schedule allows, right? But as we wrap it up, again, I do apologize. We didn't have as much time as we would like to, because this is an important subject. But share with us, John.
Well, the next time I take some days off, I'll come.
Yeah, definitely.
So you actually take time off?
Yeah, and what I want to do is I want to make sure that there's a clear distinction between me on the radio as a civil servant or me on the radio or in the media as a non-profit organization.
Exactly, because it all ties in, like you said,
Because Those distinctions need to be clear, especially when you're a civil servant.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to get permission to go on air if I'm at work.
Yeah.
But I don't need to get permission when I'm not at work.
This is all for the community.
Because at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is to establish that foundation for the youth. And that that's very important for us with these,
Well, I appreciate you sending
NPOs.
So, I'll set a date with you.
Yes.
And when I get it, then I'll take that day off.
So let me say that John and I have a date. I don't want to misunderstand him here, okay? He said it publicly.
A date on the radio.
There he said.
The whole
he said it publicly.
On YouTube watching us. So.
There you go. I'm looking forward to that date, Jamo. Okay.
Cool, man.
Right. Bring your chair along as well.
I might bring a lot more executive with me.
I want to say you got 2 more chairs?
Yeah, we can
bring a couple.
We the ugly part. the cute part is at work.
All right. Gents, thanks very much. Have a great safe weekend.
Very much too.
After our news, he's here. He's been gracious with his time. Honorable Diaz Miller will join us. So please stay tuned for Talk Today.
Radio Cayman. Radio Cayman's newsroom. These are the biggest stories right now.
Folks on the BRAC are invited to commemorate the 50th anniversary of Legislative Assembly meetings being hosted in Cayman BRAC at a special church service this Sunday. Speaker of the House, the Honorable Makiva Bush, is inviting all BRACers to the Watering Place Church of God Holiness. There will be a lunch after the service at the Siemens Hall. The next Legislative Assembly meeting starts on Wednesday at the Aston Rutty Civic Centre. Good afternoon, I'm Dion Anglin with your headlines. In news elsewhere, an explosion at a cafe has killed Alexander Zakharchenko, the leader of the Russian-backed separatists in Donetsk, eastern Ukraine. Sources in the rebel administration there has said the report was carried by the rebel Donetsk Republic news agency DNR. Ukrainians suspected of being behind the blast were arrested nearby. A rebel security source was quoted as saying. The EU Commission is proposing to end the practice of adjusting clocks by an hour in spring and autumn after a survey found most Europeans opposed it. Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker said millions believe that in the future, summertime should be year-round, and that's what will happen. The Commission's proposal requires support from the 28 national governments and MEPs to become law. And a local U.S. TV weather presenter has been arrested after a row that left a news anchor with a fractured skull. WSAZ-TV's 26-year-old Chelsea Ambrose is charged with misdemeanor battery. She allegedly shoved station host Erica Bivens in Charleston last Sunday. Besides a fractured skull, the West Virginia anchor suffered a ruptured eardrum in the altercation. It is not clear where the alleged fight occurred or what was the cause. That's a wrap of your headlines. I'm Dion Anglin.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
What's happening in your community? News and information, music and more. You can find us. www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Radio Cayman is your choice, your voice for today's biggest news. Radio Cayman.
Honey, our fridge has stopped working again. Everything in the freezer is melting. We need to get this repaired right away. I'm calling Brand Source Service.
When you need the very best appliance service, call Brand Source Service at 623-5000. Offering service and installation of all brands and models of appliances. Brand Source Service is Cayman's source for appliance parts and repairs with qualified and experienced technicians and the island's largest stock of appliance parts. Brand Source Service will have your repair completed in a flash. So, whatever the problem is, call the experts at 623-5000. Brand Source Service, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park. Telephone 623-5000. Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255. Let your voice be heard. And now, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome, and thank you so much for joining us. And again, a special thanks to Honorable Ezra Miller for allowing us a few minutes, the time allotted to be able to speak to some of our NPOs. Mr. Miller, always a pleasure. I know on the eve of sort of traveling to the BRAC, as pleasant and pleasing that may be, work continues, huh?
Well, I'm not involved in all the other stuff that's going on at BRAC. I'm only going up to do the people's business in the Legislative Assembly.
Okay.
I understand they're having other things and lots of parties and stuff, but some have been invited to, and but I going up there to do the people's business, as I would be doing the business in the Legislative Assembly.
Okay. Well, we've got a couple of things on, and I always appreciate that you make time to give the public every opportunity to at least understand beforehand, what is happening.
Yeah. But the legislation that we're actually doing in the BRAC is minor, really. The government is bringing 4 pieces of legislation. Minor amendment to the anti-corruption to allow the investigating officers to wear armor and stuff like that. I don't problem with that. There's some changes being made to the way honors are done and what they're named and stuff like that. Don't have a really big concern with that. There's a Red Cross law. I don't know why we need a law, but I can't think of any reason to reject it. I would think that they could fall under the non-profit legislation and set up a company, and it should be fine. But we'll listen to hear why the government is bringing legislation for the Red Cross. I understand that this is something that maybe the British government is pushing in all the overseas territories, because I think the Red Cross here originally falls under the UK, so maybe they're so I don't have any reason to oppose that. They're bringing one to amend the penal code, in particular for sex crime against young people. What they're bringing is better than what we have, but we have some concerns that it's not as comprehensive as we would like it to be. There's an anomaly in the penal code where we deal with, for females, about having the ability to consent to sex below the age of 16. But we oftentimes forget that there's one there for boys too, under 14. And we're not sure that it's being married in properly. And we would, because we had filed a motion for this, remember, in March, which the government never got around to dealing with, because we'd be meeting 3-day slots, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And Cinderella has to get back to the castle before the carriage turns to pumpkin.
I don't mean to smile.
So, but no, so the government is now bringing legislation to address some of the things that were in that motion. But we were proposing much more severe penalties, particularly to protect children. They're bringing 2 government motions, rezoning land, which, I've always expressed a concern of, because I don't believe that was the intent of our forefathers in framing the National Development Plan, because when we rezone individual parcels of land, only that person gets the benefit of rezoning, and the rest of the neighbours may get an adverse effect. And we've been advocating for quite some time, and particularly through the Public Accounts Committee, I've been advocating that we need to revise the development plan nationwide properly, because we should not be developing Cayman based on the whims and fancies of potential developers or potential foreign investors, not even Caymanians, right? We did manage to get some money in the 18 budget, but doesn't seem like anything's happening. This is September. So is anything like that happen between now? Obviously, they don't intend for that to happen, otherwise they wouldn't bring in these individual cases. So we will make our position on that known. We're taking 4 private members' motion. One is a motion asking for a referendum on the port. And the reason we want the referendum is we want to spread the information that is now being secretly contained in some capsule, whether time barred or whatever. Maybe they have the capsule buried to dig it up when the port is finished, But we want the debate, and we hope to extract some additional information from the government in debating it. We certainly have gathered information our own that we believe the public should be aware of. We have another motion for additional funding for education. Those who remember the budget debate in November last year, our mantra for that debate and our theme for that debate was education, education, education. We were perturbed that the actual amount of money that's put in the budget for secondary education was 2% below what was there the year before. And in primary schools, there was a modest increase of around 1%. So we knew that couldn't deal with, inflation alone eat that up, much less increasing numbers of children. So, and we've had the announcement of changes to be made in education, in particular, increase in salaries for teachers, which we support, but it needs money. And although the Minister of Education has announced that she has found $1 million out of the unspent on the John Gray, so we're milking that down again. And it never ceases to amaze me that the parents who fall within the catchment zone for the children that go to John Gray consistently, every year allows the government to reduce the funding for the development of John Gray and put it off for another year, right? And their children are suffering. We have another motion for performance incentives for bonuses for civil servants. And we have another one for the government to commission a study on the social mobility and lack thereof of Caymanians, because we are concerned and we believe that what the Cayman economic miracle did was it moved Caymanians from poor people to middle-class people to rich people. We believe the number of Caymanians that are climbing up that social ladder over the last 10 years is diminishing. We're more concerned that people are going the other way, particularly from middle class to poorer people. And all of this stuff in the banking and the media of Caymanians losing their houses, etc., all impacts on that. So we'd like to the government to look at that and find out ways to go back to that upward mobility for Caymanians. And that's basically the business that is down for the BRAC. We'll do that. I would suspect that we'll get the government laws. We can only do first and second reading on committee in one day, and then they'll come back Friday morning for the third reading. And we should be able, hopefully we'll get through some of the private members' motion on Thursday. Sure. But you see again, they organize these little things, and the person on the street may think it's happenstance, but it's not really happenstance. It's been now 3 months since we launched the celebrations for the coat of arms, the 60th year of the coat of arms here in Cayman. I think we did it in May, if I remember, or no, it was July, no? July. So it's been a couple of weeks at least, anyway, if not months. But now we're launching that in the BRAC on a Thursday morning. So instead of Parliament starting at 10 o'clock, it's scheduled to start at 11, and we know that means 1, right? Because invariably there are going to be delays, and then we just well take lunch before we get started. So instead of having a day to do private members' motions, we'll probably wind up with only a couple of hours, and probably the only motion that will get debated will be the referendum, which is why we put that as number 1. But that's how they organize things, very subtle reduction in our ability to deal with business.
And I think as you shared it, people get a chance to follow along. We'll take the proceedings live when we can. But to be involved with our civics and the like.
Yeah, no. And, it's people still listen to the debates in the Legislative Assembly. Problem is that when I was there the last time, they knew when they were coming on. Now they don't know when they're coming on. They come on for a couple of days, and then you get in the middle of it. You're 2 days behind, but that's part of the plan to not let the people know all the things that are going on.
Now, of the 4 sort of motions, the port referendum, it says the one that you put first as a priority. Share with us. We understand that there is a private groups and individuals asking for a petition.
One of the things the reasons why I'm bringing this motion is we believe the public needs more information to get an informed decision on whether we need the port or not. Because all they've heard so far is these little snippets by the promoters of the port and the government itself. You know, if we don't build this port, no cruise ship will ever stop in Cayman again. And we have alternative information for that. We believe that some of their facts are not entirely correct. We believe that there are other things that we can do to enhance the cruise passengers' experience in Cayman. We know that the cruise ships is a very intimidating business, and they're very self-centered. They don't want to worry about the cruise ship. I think that we are making the mistake, I believe, and have been doing so for a number of years, of trying to acquiesce to the demands of the cruise ships owners. And what we need to do is we need to concentrate on the experience of the passenger. Because the reason they stop in Cayman now is because the passengers demand it. You know, we're rated as the number 2 in the Western Caribbean. And to many passengers, we're number 1, even without the piers. So what we would like to see the government do is spend more effort and more funds to enhance the experience of the cruise passenger, so that the cruise passenger gives Cayman a good report. And we don't believe that going to mass and raising it to $2.3 million a year that they have to do to pay for this dock is going to achieve that. We believe that is, in fact, has the ability, and the risk is that it's going to destroy the industry, because people will get fed up in lines in Georgetown. I get to go back aboard the ship. You know.
Another 500,000 or so people. We have a quick break, sir. Let's just take that and come back, and we continue the discussion with Honorable Desert Miller. Please stay tuned for Talk Today.
CUC advises commercial customers in the Galleria Plaza on West Bay Road that they will experience interruptions to their electrical service from 10:30 p.m. on Monday, September 3rd to 8 a.m. on Tuesday, September 4th, and from 10:30 p.m. on Tuesday, September 4th to 8 a.m. on Wednesday, September 5th. Customers affected include the Saltwater Grill, Azure Reality Limited, Waterman Cayman Surf, Escala, BuySmart, Tropical Optical, and Flow. All other businesses in the Galleria Plaza will not be affected. Motorists are asked to drive with caution when utilizing the Century 21 roundabout next to the Galleria Plaza, as the streetlights in that area and on adjoining roads will be affected during the outage. Temporary lighting will be in place. CUC will also have a number of vehicles and personnel in the area. CUC apologizes for this interruption, which is necessary to facilitate the upgrading of line hardware and utility poles to improve service to customers in the area. For more information on the outage and customers affected, please contact CUC's customer service team at 949-5200 or email service@cuc.ky.
Advance Automotive is celebrating 10 years as Cayman's authorized Chevrolet dealer and is giving away $10,000 to one lucky customer to celebrate. Buy any new Chevrolet from Advance Automotive and you'll be entered to win $10,000 cash. Entries close 1st of December or after 100 cars sold, whichever comes first. Buy your new dream car and enter to win $10,000 cash for Advance Automotive's 10th birthday. Visit the showroom on Owen Roberts Drive or visit AdvanceChevrolet.com for more details today.
Nursing, education, social work, media studies, hospitality, electrical, plumbing, AC. Wow, I didn't even know that the University College of the Cayman Islands offered all that.
Yes, all that and more, as well as event management and QuickBooks. They also did customized training for our staff last month. Hey, didn't your son just graduate from high school? Take him so he can apply for the fall semester.
Pursue your academic and professional goals at UCCI. Admissions are ongoing. Classes start August 27th. Visit them or call 623-8224 to learn more.
The Cayman Islands Civil Service Association members are asked to note that the final day of school bag supplies and distribution is Friday, August 31st from 3:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. If you did not get a bag and have been inquiring about how to get one, this is your last opportunity to do so. Please remember to bring a copy of your pay slip showing your $5 deduction. That's CICSA members' last day to pick up backpacks. This Friday from 3:30 p.m. till 6 p.m. at the CICSA office, 2nd floor, Hospital Road Plaza.
Tune in to Talk Today for the Celebrate Cayman giveaway contest. Celebrate Cayman is a national celebration of our culture, history, and community as we commemorate the 60th anniversary of our coat of arms. From August 27th to September 26th, Talk Today will be giving away daily prize bags for our resident history buffs. How well do you really know your Cayman history? Test your skills on Talk Today.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. Thank you for joining us. In the studio, Honorable Opposition Leader, Honorable Ezra Miller is our guest. So we have a couple of calls online. Good afternoon and welcome. You're on Talk Today.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mom. How are you today?
Good, Mr. Miller. How are you?
Fine as silk and tough as brown cotton.
You better be.
Brown
better be. Mr. Miller, do you know if anything in the making for the Spot Dock and the North Terminal? And I would also say the sub-terminal very, very seldom has been being used. So here we are concerned about building a dock, and apparently it's in regards of someone else wanting to build it. Is that, am I speaking the right truth, that someone want to build it for us and then we dig on it?
Well, we don't know because they won't tell us, but we understand that they're down to 3 proposals from 3 different groups to finance, to design, finance, build, and maintain for the next 25 years, and to take all the revenue from it.
Yeah. So you are they going to have shops on that pier as well too?
Don't know. Haven't seen the plans.
Because the Royal Pier has stores there, and we got the Caponos and many more right in the center of town. I hear there's going to be some shops on it, so I'm not really following up too much on this pier.
Yeah.
But I say if we do build a pier, it shouldn't be in Georgetown. And if government can't build it, leave it alone. You know what I mean? But I just want to say that the North Terminal is a disgrace to tourism, and every year is coming and going, and all you can hear how great tourism has been and so forth for the season. But nothing is being done at the North Terminal. North Terminal is a disgrace, and I can tell you right now, here at the airport, we got these so-called restrooms out here, and some of them can't even flush. I'm sorry to say it on the radio, but some of them can't even flush. And we got a big sign inside in arrival saying restrooms are outside of the building, and that's where they're going to go to. You can't even flush the toilet. Come on. What are these people thinking? But anyhow, you need to investigate that North Terminal and that...
Well, I would assume that if we get the 2 cruise ship piers, both the North Terminal and the South Terminal will disappear.
Yeah, true. But anyhow, thanks a million. I have to go now.
Thank you, Mom. Thank you for sharing. Mr. Miller is another caller. Good afternoon. You're on Talk Today. Hello, good afternoon.
Mr. Miller.
Afternoon again, sir.
There is something that's given me a lot of concern, and even more so concern in that Mr. Miller and others don't seem to know what's going on about it. Now, first of all, the minor thing is how many tugs are they going to need to maneuver these ships around, and who's going to pay for it? Right? So that's more than $2,000.
Well, again, I don't know. I don't know if they intend to use tugs. I would think that the space between the 2 terminals to put cruise ships on the inside, side by side, there's not going to be a lot of room left for tugs.
But I mean, you can maneuver a ship that size after to the docks without the use of tugs. I mean, I hope some of the older seamen will call in and give their opinions on it. The other thing is I'm concerned about is the depth and the width of the dredging that will take place. Now, these new ships are a lot bigger than these that we have presently coming. And you can't say all the 40 foot. You've got to find how much draft these ships have and how deep the water needs to be for safety. Mm-hmm. So I would like to know what is the area they're going to dredge out, and how deep they're going to dredge it, and then have a professional company see what effects the current will have with this further depth and width as they draw it out there. What will be the impact on the 7 Mile beach? Because we may end up with the blockage there shifting the current. We may not have any 7 Mile beach after a while. Okay? So I'd like you to look into that, Mr. Miller.
Well, I would be quite happy to look at it if I could get a set of plans. But one of the things that we will try to get the government to do in Cayman Brac is to table a set of plans. Even if it's on even if it's on 8.5 by 11, at least we'll see what they're doing. But if I had the plans, I would be happy to tell you what depth they're dredging it to and what the borrow pit is and everything else. But we don't know. We don't have any of that information at the current time.
That's what I mean. You are the member in the opposition there, and they don't even telling you.
That's right. And we have asked. We have asked on 4 occasions.
I would certainly not sign anything for them to have a dock.
Yep.
If they cannot answer these questions, because if that 7 Mile beach goes, our tourism is almost finished.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. All right. Thanks very much, sir, for sharing. And have a wonderful afternoon, sir. We have another caller. Good afternoon. You're on Talk Today.
Yes, good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon, sir. All right, Mr. Brian, how are you, sir?
Not too bad. Good afternoon, Honorable Opposition Leader.
Well,
is Mr. McLean there with you?
No. Just me alone. So don't beat me up too bad now.
No, I definitely wouldn't do that. I just saw an article last night which brought, obviously, another level of analysis to the debate in respect to this referendum. You know, me and yourself have had discussions, and I have given you my support in respect to the referendum motion. The question that arrived last night to me was an article published in the Cayman Compass that suggests that one of the mega ships will be coming here, I think, either next year or later this year. I can't remember exactly the date, but have agreed to tender. Are you aware of that by any chance?
Well, information that I have indicate that both the Oasis class ships can be tendered here, and we're doing the Freedom class now 2 at a time in the harbour. And the biggest reason why the owners of the vessels don't want to tender them here is because, having told other territories that they couldn't be tendered, those territories have invested hundreds of millions of dollars into piers, and they're not getting the kind of returns that they want. And if they now find out that they can be adequately tendered, there may be some upset governments around the area.
Yes. Well, I was just trying to see, because there seemed to be some level of confirmation within that article, and then obviously we'll discuss that in Cayman Brac.
Well, I think the information I have suggests that while the Oasis class, I don't remember the name that the government is so worried about because it sails past here every Tuesday on its way to Honduras or something, could not be tendered. The truth is that they came in here for a medical emergency and tenders remove the persons. So if you can take off somebody in a medical emergency, you ought to be able to take off an healthy person.
Very true, very true.
So I think that's proof positive that it can be tendered.
True. One last question in respect to the whole element of you highlighted something very important on this team radio show, not this show, but radio station, in respect to saying that all the monies would be used that they're currently getting per head. That obviously means we would have to then subsidize the port.
Mm-hmm.
So the notion that, it won't be no cost to the country is actually not true.
Absolutely. That is deliberate misinformation. As I understand it, and the information I have, and some of this is confirmed by the accounts for the Port Authority, I believe that the passenger, per passenger in Georgetown Port now, there's a $17 figure. $5 of that goes to the tender. $12 goes to the Port Authority, some of which goes to service the loan that was repaying the financing on the Royal Watlet, and $3 goes directly into the coffers of the port. to subsidize the cargo operation.
Well, if all of it then goes, all the cash per head goes to this developer, then we definitely have a cost coming up.
And here's what it's going to cost the people of Cayman. If we are going to give the cruise or whoever finances this deal, and let's use the number that the government says the port is going to cost. I have concerns that it's likely to cost more than that because the EIA is very specific in that they have made no test test bores into the ocean floor to find out what the carrying capacity is and how wide the footprint has to be to take the weight of the dock. But let's just assume that they're going to invest $200 to build us this pier. If we are going to pay them $17 per passenger for the next 25 years, and they say and the business case for this says it's going to take 2.3 million passengers per year to pay for the dock. My 9-year-old child can multiply that out, right? Because if you take $17 times 2.3 million, right, times 300 and put 2.3 million times 25, that's going to come out very close to 900 million.
Almost $1 billion, yeah.
That is what the people of this country will be paying for that dock. 900 odd million. Because and that is taking it out of this country's economy. Because currently, what the passengers pay is distributed in various forms within the local economy.
Well, I agree, and it leads me to my follow-up point, which was, even if we did decide as a people that we want to go forward with this dock, why are we not just dealing with it ourselves and to say the government actually has the income coming in from the cruise? Why aren't the people making that money? For example, I suggested to a good friend of mine, he said, you cannot ever make anybody hear you say it, but I think it's quite logical. Why not allow, from a pension standpoint, because if it was to cost $250 million and they end up making something like what you said, $900 million, that's $650 million in profits over a 25-year period.
Mm-hmm.
So why not put that in like, say, for instance, the pensions that is losing so much money as it is?
The trouble they have is the FFR, right? And the debt service ratio and the limit on only 10% of the annual revenue can be used to service debt. And I think it's 80% of the annual revenue is your debt ceiling. The government would have to move one of those in order to be able to finance this deal. Otherwise, they would be in contradiction, non-compliance with the FFR, and their big pride between 2013 and 2017 was that they had gotten all the things in FFR. They're now full compliance. So that's the problem they're up against in terms of the government doing the financing itself. You see?
Let me ask you this last question because I want to make sure that you're showing you're doing your thing and informing the people, which is important. But are you then saying rather than us going back to the UK and say, listen, this is important, this is something that we need, potentially we're going to be giving away $650 million in profits to somebody else rather than making adjustments to the FFR agreement? Is that what we're saying? Because so we'd rather give away $650 million over a 25-year period rather than sit down with the UK and say, listen, this is something our people can benefit from. All those pensioners who are not making any money on their pension right now could be making more money long-term rather than... All right. Thank you, Mr. Miller. I appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your show.
No. All right. Thanks very much, sir. Respectful, Mr. Miller. Unless there's something urgent, let's pause. Maybe I can find some bread and water. I don't know.
Yeah.
When you come back,
I don't see how my bread is shining.
More talk today. Stay tuned, please.
Hey, are those new glasses on Will?
Yeah, we went to Optical Outlook. Wham, bam, easy exam. Finally, an exam he could pass. And we have the glasses the next day. Easiest part of our back-to-school shopping for sure.
Book your child's exam today at Optical Outlook. Call 746-2020. Save 50% off a complete pair of glasses with any student eye exam. From now until August 31st. Come see the difference with Optical Outlook. Located in the Caymanian Village. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
Hi,
Hi, I'm remodeling our bathroom. I have a few questions.
Sure.
What are some ideas to make my bathroom feel larger? How do I know if I'm picking the right vanity? How do I choose a new toilet or a new countertop? Also, the lighting is terrible. Can I put a window or a skylight? And do I really need an exhaust fan?
You've come to the right place. At Brand Source, we custom design kitchen and baths, and our talented design team can help answer your questions. Whether you're looking for a modern, functional family bathroom or a luxurious personal retreat, we'll help create that beautiful space that makes your home yours. And if you're in a rush for a new look and have a limited budget, our ready-to-install bathroom vanities, built with solid wood and countertops of the finest materials, are a quick and easy remodeling solution.
For the very best in custom-designed kitchens and baths, visit Brand Source Home Gallery on Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, Cayman's new kitchen and bath center.
Congratulations, it's a boy.
During the greatest events of your life, whether or not you have the right health insurance coverage should be the last thing on your mind. That's why at Fidelity Health, we are committed to helping you get matched with the right plan to suit you and your family. We offer a range of plans to suit your budget, plus access to a network of quality care throughout the Caribbean and the USA. You can relax and enjoy life's greatest moments when you are covered with Fidelity Health. Call us today at 949-7822 for a free quote.
Remember to discard all fresh fruits and vegetables, meats, all foods in canisters, dented, leaking or rusting cans after they have come in contact with floodwater. Also discard foods that are stored in cardboard boxes, paper foil, cellophane, and cloth, as well as those in open containers and packages. For more post-hurricane food safety tips, visit DEH website at deh.gov.ky.
Don't forget to tune in every Monday through Friday for the 7 a.m. news, brought to you by Cayman National Bank, proudly serving the Cayman Islands since 1974. Visit Cayman National Bank today for all of your financial needs.
Talk today.
But I do have some questions.
Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waging to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Good afternoon. Welcome back to Talk Today. Thank you for joining us. Honored to be able to have in the studio the Honorable Opposition Leader, Honorable Ezra Miller, as our guest. So thank you very much for sharing with us and as to give the public a chance to be informed. Now, I know many of us, we love politics. We love talking about politics. We like paying attention to what unfolds in our legislative assembly and all that things. Not just during an election year, but we just like to be informed and involved. And that's a good sign of a healthy democracy. But you've, through the office of the Opposition Leader, issued some recent press releases. Continue to share with us.
The reason I issued that statement yesterday is because for well over a year now, I've been observing through my role as chairman of the Public Accounts Committee and through the way projects are being handled in the civil service and what appears in the media of how these projects are being handled. The PPM government, correctly so, brought 3 pieces of legislation over the last 4 years that are very important to maintaining the integrity, the honesty, and stuff of the whole government process, and it's all in the line of good governance. One of those was the standards. The first one of those was the standards in public life law, which we know came out of the requirement of the Constitution because we have a commission for standards in public life. And that commission was appointed in 2010. And they without legislation, but they advocated for and were very instrumental in producing a bill that was passed into law in 2014. That law requires certain disclosures, prevents people from getting information for that insider trading and nepotism and putting your families on boards and all those sorts of stuff. And there was a hue and a cry from some of the people, because remember now that both the PPM and the UDP, CDP, whatever it is now, have the same people that they use on boards. Right? You only got to follow what's been going on here for the last 20 years. In fact, you can go back another 4 for that, right? And it's the same people. And one of the things that concerns us there was that, so this passed the commission advocated for, helped draft the legislation, was passed first in 2014 because there was a hue and a cry from the people that it was going to affect, i.e., and the roles and their responsibilities and their ethical performances on these boards, to make sure that what they did was honest and forthright and above board, and there wasn't any possibility of any insider trading or getting contracts for certain things, So the government backed off and brought back in 2016 a number of amendments to the legislation to make it more acceptable to the people that it was going to affect.
The board members.
Yeah, and other people. Yeah, other people in the government. But here we are now, 2 years after that second amendment, that first amendment to the legislation. The law has still not commenced, because what the public need to understand is that when I was there the last time, in the 80s, once the governor signed what we call the vellum copy of the law, it was in effect that day. More modern legislation carries in it a clause that says, and it's right up front in clause 2, right? The introductory clause 1, it's actually in clause 1, says the clause 1, subsection 1 of the Public Authorities Law, and you'll find this in all the modern legislation. This law may be cited as the Public Authorities Law. You'll find the same thing in the standards, the title of the law. Then it says, this law, in subclause 2, this law shall come into force on such date as may be appointed by order made by Cabinet, and different dates may be appointed for different provisions in relation to different matters. So the standards in public health law, the Cabinet has not commenced it. So although we've had a Commission of Public Law now, which is 8 years old, right? They've been operating without legislation to support them in being effective in holding public servants, whether politicians or civil servants or people serving on the statutory authority boards, etc., to high standards, right, which the law provides for. We can't get it, so the law has been commenced. And that gives me concern when you particularly look at how the airport development was handled. You look at how the port authority, the port project is being handled. You look at, the education and the development of facilities and education is a little different because that's a department, so it doesn't have the same. They're required to maintain the standards, and they're required to follow the procurement law, but they don't fall under the public authority section of it. So we have, and then the government in 2016 passed a procurement law, and you will find the same clause in the procurement law. Clause 1, this law may be cited as the Procurement Law 2016. Subclause 2, this law shall come into force on such date as may be appointed by the Cabinet, and different dates may be appointed for different provisions of this law and in relation to different matters. Now, the commencement order, which is required for Cabinet to issue and gazette for the procurement law, right, says this order may be cited as the Procurement Law 2016 Commencement Order 2018, and the provisions of the Procurement Law 2016 shall come into force on the first day of May 2018. So this law was passed in 2016, but it didn't commence until May
this year,
2018. Now, the government's contention and the civil service contention is that clause is necessary to give government chance to get regulations, to train up people, etc., right? Now, I can tell you, in the case of the procurement law, was brought into on the 1st of May. The regulations commenced on the 2nd of May. The governor wrote me in early March, and I responded because the procurement law provides for the appointment of the procurement committee, which is the oversight committee for all of the tendering, etc., right? And that is established. The constitution of the Public Procurement Committee is established in Schedule 3 of the law. And here's what it says. The Public Procurement Committee shall consist of 8 persons and a recording secretary who shall not be entitled to vote. The government acting in accordance with the advice of the Premier, make up stop there. When it says advice of the Premier or advice of the Leader of Opposition, it means the governor has to appoint the person that you recommend. If it says in consultation with the Premier or in consultation with the Leader of the Opposition, the governor can accept the recommendation or reject the recommendation, or you send him 2 and he pick 1, or you send him 3 and he pick 2. So the Premier shall appoint from persons in the private sector the chairman and 3 other members of the Public Procurement Committee.
So 4 of the 8.
Right. One of whom shall be an attorney at law. The governor, Section 3, the governor acting in accordance with the advice of the Leader of the Opposition shall appoint from persons in the private sector 1 member of the Public Procurement Committee. That recommendation from me was made on I got the letter right here, March the 13th, prior to the law coming into effect. But here we are. We have the law brought into effect the 1st of May. The regulations brought in the 2nd of May. Training for the procurement law for civil servants didn't start till June or July. After it came in. So we wasted a whole year. Everybody in the government administration law, government billing was sitting down twiddling their thumbs, and nobody remembered that we had to train people for procurement law that was coming into effect, right? But although I made my recommendation, I don't know, I am not aware, and I wouldn't have the information as to whether the Premier has made his recommendations or not. But I can see no reason why he would not have. And I can't see the governor writing me to ask me for my nomination, and they didn't write him and ask him for his. That just wouldn't make any sense. So we still don't have the procurement committee constituted. Right?
So we got a law that was passed in 2016, came into effect in May 2018. The training,
but it can't. The training started in June or July. I don't remember exactly which, but but still, right? We don't have the procurement committee, which is the committee that has the oversight of all of the procurement processes and all the tendering and bidding processes in place to do the procurement.
There are 8 people on it. The Premier gets appoint 4, plus, which includes the chairman. Opposition appoints 1.
Yeah.
So 4 and 1 is 5.
And the governor would then appoint the other 3. Yeah.
Oh, so we, the public, don't get a recommendation?
No.
Okay, just checking to make sure. I'm going to point Lynn, which he's screaming at me and said, we have a caller and we have a break. You know, what can we do, sir? Can we take the break? Can we take the caller? Let's take the caller. You know what? He's a good fella, you know. Let's take the caller. Hey, good afternoon. Welcome here on Talk Today.
Hello?
Hi, good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon. I'm okay. I would like to ask Mr. Miller if he's going to the dock that they're going to build down in town.
If I am what?
If you're going to gain for the dock that they're building down in town.
No, sir. I personally am opposed to building the dock.
Yeah, you're right. You're the right side.
Okay.
Because if they trouble that place there and dig it out, 7 Mile Beach is finished. Tourists stop from coming here. They fool around nature.
Yep.
And that's what's going to happen to them. You watch. If they ain't build that dock there when now Western come, where they going to have go? Not still spots.
Yep.
You see, they don't think back. Well, Moses and Alden, they don't know anything about nature. They don't know one thing about nature. You ask them how high the tide is, they say low.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thanks for your call. Appreciate it.
Respectfully. Thank you, sir. And let me try not to get too much on the bad side of Mr. Lynn, because he's a good fellow. Look at him, smiling, pleasant, amenable. I don't think there's a bad bone in his body. All right, well, let's pause and take a break.
You don't make that money, you'll know.
When we come back, more Talk Today.
King Sports Center takes pride in being more than just an ordinary gymnasium. For 14 years, their multi-purpose facility has been providing the community with a variety of sporting, recreational, and relaxation activities. King Sports Center has a bowling alley, lounge bar, multi-purpose rooms, powerhouse gym, rock climbing wall, bungee jumping, a 10,000 square foot rink, and so much more. For more information on the variety of services, call their friendly staff today at 946-5464 or email kings@candw.ky or visit www.kingsportscenter.com. King Sports Center, your one-stop shop for fitness, recreation, and relaxation.
The Cayman Islands Civil Service Association members are asked to note that the final day of school bag supplies and distribution is Friday, August 31st from 3:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. If you did not get a bag and have been inquiring about how to get one, this is your last opportunity to do so. Please remember to bring a copy of your pay slip showing your $5 deduction. That's CICSA members' last day to pick up backpacks. This Friday from 3:30 p.m. till 6 p.m. at the CICSA office, 2nd floor, Hospital Road Plaza.
Has your business developed a marketing campaign that attracted attention and community appeal this year? Then the Chamber of Commerce wants to hear from you. Submit your best marketing campaign for recognition at this year's Business Excellence Awards. Your campaign will have been influential, memorable, promoting a product, service or event. Visit businessexcellenceawards.ky to find out more. The Chamber's Business Excellence Awards are proudly sponsored by Cox Lumber, Deloitte and Picture This.
Nursing, education, social work, media studies, hospitality, electrical, plumbing, AC. Wow, I didn't even know that the University College of the Cayman Islands offered all that.
Yes, all that and more, as well as event management and QuickBooks. They also did customized training for our staff last month. Hey, didn't your son just graduate from high school? Take him